everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Meredith E Phillips and today we're going to be chatting about mid-year goals and maybe goals I created to take me through the end of the year. I have a very detailed plan. Let's talk about it. So at the beginning of the year, I posted this video, which was my big audacious 2023 goals. And when I was thinking through those goals and getting ready to post that video, they seemed very far-fetched. Like based on past experience, I was like, I don't know if you can actually do all this stuff, but this is what I'd like to get done, but I don't know. But I've actually been doing pretty good. If you've been following along with the vlogs the last couple months, I've been hitting the self-imposed deadlines I've set for myself like well ahead of schedule. So I'm feeling very confident. I'm feeling good about myself. I'm feeling like a little nervous that the other shoe's gonna drop or like something's gonna start to go wrong. But you know, like at the moment it's going great. And so we're just gonna ride that wave until it all crashes, I guess. I have been thinking through goals, timelines, how I want the rest of the year to kind of be structured so that I can hit the goal of having a queryable manuscript completely ready to go by the end of December, and then it can be queried in like mid-January. I initially sat down a few days ago to just sort of map out maybe like the next couple months, and I ended up mapping out the entire rest of the year. So I'm gonna share all my plans with you, and maybe we can look back on this video in a few months and just laugh, but hopefully it'll keep going well and I'll be able to hit these goals. So let's get into it. If you missed last week's video, you might not know, but I did finish draft 3. Which was very exciting, and I hit that goal way ahead of time, so I'm ahead of where I thought I would be at this point in the year, and I'm now embarking on draft 4. I've already gotten started. I actually decided this week to sit down and just read through the whole thing from start to finish. I don't think I've done that since January, and I wanted to kind of get a sense of like the overall flow. Did it feel like it was cohesive and working together? And so I sat down and read through the whole thing. I think it reads pretty good. I don't see any like major plot holes or, you know, inconsistencies that are gonna take massive rewrites or anything like that. I did also start noting overused words and phrases. There's a lot of them. And so my goals for draft 4 are going to be a couple different things. Number one, I've also sent draft 3, as it's been completed, to my critique partners. What I'd like for them to do at this point is just read through the whole thing and kind of give me an overview of how they think the flow is. Do they think the character arcs are good? You know, all that kind of stuff. Sort of more overarching comments and critiques rather than just like the chapter by chapter kind of stuff that we've been doing. So that's kind of off to them at this point, and I'm waiting to hear feedback from them on that. Once I get that kind of feedback, I'll incorporate or fix up any kind of issues they found. The other thing that I want to do for draft 4 is to fix the sentences. I'm finally at the point where I'm like, let's fix the sentences. Let's fix the sentences. There's so many times where I have like the same sentence structure like 2 or 3 times in a row. He did this and this. He did this and this. He did this and this. And it's like, okay, we need to mix it up a little bit. So there's stuff like that, or just other sentences that are just like clunky, and they just need to be fixed up, you know? So the repeated words and phrases and then the sentence structure is really what I'm going to be working on during June, and hopefully I will have a completed draft 4 by the end of June. That seems crazy, but if you had told me I was going to finish draft 3 within a month, I would have said that also sounded crazy, but that's what I ended up doing. So we're gonna aim for the end of June and just see what happens. So that's the plan for June. July is gonna be hopefully exciting. I would love to, I'll have to evaluate once draft 4 is done. I might reread draft 4 and be like, ooh, still need to fix up this kind of thing. I don't know, but I'd love for draft 4 to be good enough to send to beta readers, which is a little terrifying, but that's what I would love to get to in July. So if you like historical or Regency romance and you would like to be a beta reader, keep your eye open, because I am at some point, if it's hopefully in July, maybe a little bit later if I need a little more time, but coming soon, there'll be some sort of video announcing the need for beta readers. So keep an eye out if you're interested in that. If all goes well in June, then July is going to be beta reader time, and I want to do two things during July. While the book is with beta readers, there's nothing really for me to work on, right? So while it is off in their hands, I would like to do a couple things. I'd like to write a query letter, I'd like to write a synopsis, and I'd like to write a book blurb. All of which are a little scary, but I need to get those kind of going, so I have some sort of initial draft of them, because at the end of July I have that query camp that I have signed up for, and there's going to be an opportunity during that weekend to share your query letter with other people and get comments, critiques, feedback on that, which I think would be super valuable. And you know, I want to have some kind of draft query ready to go so I can share it during that weekend query camp. So I think that'll be a good activity to do while I can't really work on the story, right? So that'll be July. August, again, kind of twofold in terms of goals. I'd like to finish out beta reader. I don't know what that was. Okay, beta reader feedback. I'd like to finish collecting that and then start to incorporate that into the story, fixing up any issues that they pointed out, addressing concerns, you know, all that kind of stuff. I don't think I'll finish that during August, but I'd like to at least start that. And then in addition to that, I would want to take all of the things I learned in that query camp at the end of July and actually fix up the query letter synopsis, all that stuff, so that it's, you know, as good as I can make it. September is going to hopefully see me finishing out draft 5, which is incorporating all of the beta feedback. And then I would also, this is the part where please don't come for me in the comments, I would like to start outlining book 2. Hear me out. Is this the best choice? No, it's probably a bad choice, but I really wanna, so I'm gonna. Hey, editing Meredith here. I do have reasons why book 2 is not a good choice at this point. Reasons that I'm ignoring, but they are valid reasons. Okay, so here's the thing. If you write book 2 in a series and book 1 does not get you an agent, you can't query book 2. I can't imagine why an agent would be like, yeah, your book 2 idea sounds amazing. Let me represent you with book 2. Like, that's not how it works. And so then the other reason is also, even if book 1 gets me an agent, there's no guarantee that the agent will sell it to a publisher. And if the second project I'm working on is book 2 in a series that doesn't end up selling, then I have 2 books that are basically useless in terms of, you know, traditional publication. So it's not a great game plan. You should be working on something else by the time you're querying. You should have another project in the works, but I think ideally they like to tell you, like, make it something different so that if something with the first project doesn't work out, you have this other thing to fall back on. So anyway, that's the reasoning there. Back to the video. I might change my mind by the time we get to September, we'll see. But I'd really like to outline book 2 so that I can write it during NaNoWriMo. I told you, don't kill me, okay, please. Have I, in my writing journey, written book 2 before book 1 was like completed? Yes. How many times have I done that before? Twice. Has that second book ever come out good? No. This time might be different. Third time's the charm, right? So that is the plan. I love NaNoWriMo. You guys, look, I'm even wearing the sweater, okay? I like Nano. And I thought at the beginning of the year, like, you're not gonna be able to do NaNoWriMo this year. You just gotta let it go, because you're gonna be focusing on finishing up this book 1 to get it ready to query in January, right? Like, that's more important than doing NaNoWriMo. Completely agree. However, as you'll be able to see from the rest of the plans, it's still gonna be ready. I can also do this on the side though. Just hear me out, okay? Let me just finish my whole spiel here. Last year I took 3 months, 3 solid months to work on the outline for book 1. This year I'm only gonna take 2 months to finish outlining book 2. Yes, I did say finish. Just leave me alone, okay? I can't help it. The reason I think book 1 took 3 full months to work on is a couple reasons. Number 1, I really only had sort of a vague idea of like the tropes I wanted to use, sort of like general idea of the characters. Like I had a lot of like general ideas. I didn't really have anything concrete when I started. The other thing that took me a long time in those months last year was figuring out like all the family dynamics. How old are the siblings? What is their deal? And then also like timeline of events and all this other kind of stuff, historical events, how that was going to play into things. Like I was doing a lot of research on the side. When I outline book 2, I'm not going to need to do all of that sort of like almost world building kind of stuff because it's already there. I already know this character's siblings. I already know what her personality is like and her character is like. I've got all that set up. I've already written 2,200 words of a synopsis for the book too. So I have a pretty good idea of what the story is going to be, and there just needs to be some sort of like brainstorming in terms of like fix this plot issue or, you know, fix up. I'm not quite sure how it's going to end exactly. So like I've got to fix up that kind of thing. But like I've got a lot of the ideas already in place. So I'm anticipating that it will not take me 3 full months to do an outline. It'll just take me like 1 or 2. So if I start in September, then I should hopefully have a finished outline by the time NaNoWriMo gets started. The other thing I'm considering doing in September, I'm not sure if I want to do this. We'll see, but there are a lot of editors and people who know more than me who offer services to review your query letter, your synopsis, your first 10 pages, right? And there's a whole variety. Some people offer it as like a package and you can pay X amount of dollars and they'll look over all 3 of those things. There's other people who offer just the query critique. And a lot of these services I think are priced really well. Like they're within my price range and I think that could potentially be super valuable. Some of the query critiques are like $30. I feel like that's very doable. For me, that's a very doable fee to pay for somebody professional to look at my query and tell me like, ooh, fix up this bit or delete this part, you know, give me a critique on it. Because I obviously want that to be as strong as possible when I start querying, hopefully in January. So I'm thinking about that. I'm not sure if I'll do that, but if I do that, it'll probably be in September. October, again, kind of 2 goals I'm thinking. Obviously finish the outline for this book I'm wanting to write for NaNoWriMo, and I need to start researching literary agents. I don't have to do this in October. I could obviously start doing this earlier and start compiling lists and stuff like that, but like actual hardcore, like let's make a list of agents, I'm hoping I can do that mainly in October. November, of course, is NaNoWriMo. I'm not wanting to do anything else at that point because that's a lot of work right there, so I'll just be doing book 2 writing at that point. December, I'm sure I will be ready to collapse, so I'm really wanting to sort of step back, take it easy, let myself rest a little bit. Any final tweaks I want to make to that query package, which would be the query synopsis and first 10 pages-ish, any kind of little changes I want to make there, like I need to do that in December. I'll need to review the list of literary agents, like has anybody closed to queries? Has anybody changed what they're looking for in the last several months? And I need to like delete people or add new people, whatever. So looking over that, but like that's all fairly straightforward. So December hopefully will be a little bit of a breather month. Now you might be wondering, hey Meredith, you know, if you didn't do NaNoWriMo, you could be ready to query by like November or December and then not wait. Why are you waiting? I have reasons to wait until January, and unless you can change my mind, I'm pretty set on this. I have heard from multiple literary agents that November, December maybe is not like the best time to query for a couple reasons. Number 1, it's holiday season, and so a lot of agents, like a lot of other people, are taking time off to go visit family, take vacations, you know, do holiday things, and they're not in the office as often as they are during other times of the year. The other thing I've heard that a lot of agents do toward the end of the calendar year is they're trying to like close things out. They're trying to come to conclusions with deals they're in the middle of. They're trying to come to natural stopping points with clients they're working with, and just sort of have things wrap up so that they can have a vacation over Christmas and New Year's, and then come back refreshed in January, ready to go, right? Like that's like a lot of people like to do that kind of thing, which makes sense. So it's not that you cannot query in that last sort of part of the year, but a lot of agents might be closed to queries completely if they're planning to take time off work. Or even if they're not closed, your query might end up sitting in their inbox for like 2 months. And I don't want to sit in somebody's inbox for 2 months because they're just like completely not even trying to look at anything. Like if I wait till January, most people are going to be back in the office, ready to get going by mid-January, and they're going to be going through their queries and getting back to people. I know that that means I might still be sitting there for 2 months, but I don't want to be sitting there because they're not even working on it. You know what I mean? I'm fine waiting. Well, not fine, but I've accepted that there's waiting there, but I really don't want to be sitting there and not have anybody even trying to look at my stuff. So that's why I'm thinking mid-January, early February is going to be a good time to query. If you know something different though, please do let me know in the comments. So those are my goals. That's my idea for how the end of the year is going to play out, or the second half of the year, since we're basically halfway through the year at this point, which is crazy. But here we are. Could all this come crashing down around my head? Absolutely. Absolutely. If I get behind with revisions and draft 4, 5, whatever, beta readers, if I get behind in all that, I will put book 2 and NaNoWriMo to the side. Like, I want this thing ready to query by January. That is the big goal, okay? So if I need that extra time to work on it, I will take that. If I don't need the extra time though, I really want to do NaNoWriMo. So, this is certainly flexible. It's not set in stone, but that's what I'd really like to be able to finish this year, which would be super exciting. So tell me what you think. Do you think that's like completely unrealistic? Do you think I can do it? I don't know. We'll find out together. Yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know. Are you kind of like looking back at your goals from the beginning of the year, maybe reevaluating? Mid-year is kind of a nice time to do that, right? We've had 6 months pretty much at this point to work toward them. Maybe you've gotten a ton done. Maybe you haven't gotten done as much as you wanted. Like, it's good to sort of reevaluate and see what you can get done by the end of the year, right? So let me know how your goals and your progress and all that kind of thing are going. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, you can click the subscribe button. I post videos on Fridays. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!